we're thinking, boy, that was really good, but I can't remember what it was about. And by Tuesday, we've already forgot that we even had the experience.
Amen.
If Martha's waiting for the right word at the right time, we see Mary sitting at Jesus' feet. And people enamored with Jesus, the words that he's speaking. He's teaching lessons while his feet are getting anointed. Mary is bowing down at Jesus' feet, weeping. The bottle of, John calls it spikenard, but the bottle of oil that's broken on her in the alabaster box that it contains it was actually probably worth about 1 year's salary that day. Boy, isn't it interesting that Mary is willing to give it all up to Jesus.
Right.
And Martha's too busy doing the work.
Amen.
Wouldn't it be sad if we found ourselves at the end of our lives talking to Jesus, and Jesus says, son, daughter, you're too busy. You're too busy. You're too worried about work. You're too worried about making money. Money that doesn't even transfer. Do you realize once you die, your funeral's going to cost $10,000? Do you realize once you die, King Tut tried to bury all these Egyptian kings try to bury themselves with money to show how wealthy they were, and it's all just gone to waste. Nobody gets to enjoy it. We spend all of our time working and working and working and picking up odd jobs and picking up second jobs and doing the extra thing around the house so the kids are happy. And we buy them the extra toys that make them happy at Christmas. And then by February, they're not even playing with the toy you bought them. And we're so worried about the dumb things of Christmas and the dumb things of life. We're so worried about the dumb things of the world. We're wasting our time working on things that don't matter.
Right.
Do you understand that Martha is not the one that understands the revelations of Jesus Christ? Martha is not the one that gets to see the miracles performed because of her faith. Martha is not the one who begins to see God unravel himself in front of all mankind under her very eyes. But Mary is the one that stands in front of God and says, do it!
Amen.
Raise my brother from the dead!
Amen.
Mary's the one that's sitting at Jesus' feet and her devils are cast out from her. Mary's the one that has 7 demons. Mary's the one that's got problems. But she's the one that God's always focused on.
Amen.
Spend so much time. I know it's hard to understand this in the middle of a building project. I know it's difficult to understand. I do the 9-to-5 gig and I can't stand it. I know what it's like to work day in and day out. It bothers me too. It bothers me that I spend too much time trying to pay off bills. And it bothers me that I spend too much time spending money on stuff I don't need. And it bothers me standing in line at a grocery store thinking, this is so much money. What? If I could just pay off my bills and spend all my time on God, I would do anything for it.
Right.
Martha's just constantly saying, well, Jesus, she's not doing anything with me. Jesus, tell her to work with me. Jesus, I'm working hard. Why can't she be like me?
Right.
Jesus looks at her and says, Martha, Martha, you're so worried about dumb stuff. You're so focused on the little things of life.
Come on.
As we continue the story of Mary, it's Mary that actually follows Jesus to the cross. It's Mary that walks with her friends. She walks with Mary, the mother of Jesus. Another Mary, she walks with Joanna, who's actually married to part of the enemy. She's walking with Jesus. She's seeking after God continually. It's so interesting. Isn't it so interesting that Mary is is just a little off the beaten path. She just doesn't have quite the right outfit on. She doesn't really put it together right. It's Mary, of all people, in the entire existence of mankind. Jesus lives for a short 33-year span. And he dies seemingly tragically in front of all of his friends and relatives, in front of all the people that sought after him, among all the people that were chasing for his gifts and his blessings and his things. And lo and behold, the very first person to see Jesus risen from the dead is Mary Magdalene. I hope you understand that your revelation of God is dictated by where you sit. Many of us are in the crowd. Many of us are walking, enjoying the things of life. We're following the people. We're following the fads. We're following the new Xbox games and the new Wii games. We're following the new trends. We're following all the new styles. And it's so interesting that Mary's always the one that's splitting right through the crowd to get to Jesus' feet.
Right.
That time that she spends there, it's her faith that brings about a miracle in Lazarus' life. Jesus doesn't even mention raising Lazarus from the dead. He says, he will live again. And she says, Martha says, yeah, I know, in the resurrection. And Mary's like, no, I don't care about the resurrection. I want you to do stuff in my life right now. We look forward to the miracle of Mary being delivered from 7 demons and from spirits and from things in her life because she's sitting at Jesus' feet. We see Martha caring about other things in the world, and we see Mary seeking after God. We see Mary trying to get to Jesus after he's dead. Mary is actually spending not only her life savings, but she's spending so much more than she can even afford to wrap up Jesus' dead body. And she, lo and behold, the one who doesn't have it together, lo and behold, the person who doesn't get it all right, is the one that sees Jesus raised from the dead.
Amen.
We go back and we look at Martha. And you see it. You see when you make decisions in life, you don't normally tell if it was a right or wrong decision until years later. And it's the hindsight 2020. It's the going back and looking over things that says, okay, now I see what the problem was. If Martha would have chosen to stop working so hard and seeking after God. When you look at the very last verse of the 10th chapter of Luke, you see that God is rebuking Martha. And he's looking at Mary and saying, Mary has chosen a good part, and it will not depart from her. He didn't say that she'll be the one that'll see the risen Christ. He didn't mention the fact that Mary will see miracles, signs, and wonders. He didn't even actually talk about the fact that Jesus was still going to be here. He didn't promise her that. No, he said, Mary has chosen the good part, and it shall not be taken from her.
Right.
If you seek after God, you'll lose your stuff, you'll lose your things, your clothes will go out of style, and you'll keep